And this is the saddest of rituals from when we're together for spring break, which is we now have to separate. So we're working through the terms of the divorce, aka figuring out what food goes with who. The jelly bellies go with me. The goldfish go with me. Really nice night. We have one other person in the campsite. They showed up around dark, but we didn't hear anything out of them. They're set up in a hammock across the way. And the dawn of the end of Taters.
Just for 60 days.
Oh, it's an eternity. I started this like 12 days ago. Feels like there was no life before this.
It's been another very happy and memorable spring break week. Really feel like I got a good sampling of spring in the Northeast weather.
Walking through Annapolis, almost getting run over outside of DC, getting rained on.
And a pretty good cross-section of the trail, at least for a starter week. Road walks around Annapolis, a little bit of stealth camping, really fun day going through DC, and then just an awesome finish here on the C&O.
So the campsite we used really worked out, really pretty, right by the water. We even had turkeys gobbling this morning as I was drinking my 1 cup of coffee last morning together, and she puts me on starvation rations as far as coffee.
Because we're going to breakfast and getting more coffee.
That is post-coffee coffee. You
And
have pre-coffee coffee, you have coffee, and post-coffee coffee.
And there were squirrels chasing each other around the trees, hopping over our tent from little branch to little branch.
Yeah, they carry the bubonic plague, you know. So we have about 2 miles to a trailhead. We have another long-term supporter who's going to trail Angel Jen back to the airport. They said they wanted to buy us breakfast, and considering the only good coffee I've had in a very long time was that stop on the other side of the Chesapeake, I'm okay with that. And that gives Jen and I a little bit longer together before I get dumped back out here like a baby in bathwater and Taters sails away to luxury and comfort.
Hey, stop trying to make me cry.
On the plus side, I've gotten 0 reading done while she is here. Did a little music during one of the rainstorms, and now I've got like my headphones back out. I'm starting to strategize. Which book am I going to jump back into? And we have arrived at the location of sadness. Yeah, as long as they have coffee. The heavy traffic.
And the foxes, oh, that was so cute.
And sadly, there goes Jen off to the airport. Those folks came out and took us out for a surprisingly good breakfast at a Silver Cafe. So I've had about 4 or 5 cups of coffee this morning. I'm full. I am, I'll be struggling for the rest of the day and part of tomorrow. But we've been through this before. Jen is both super excited to get back and teach her kids, and at the same time sad to be leaving me, especially on such a pretty section. I set us both up with a countdown app that lists the number of days until we're back together, so at least we can keep that in mind. Reality is, like, 2 months isn't that long, but with how long the days feel out here, good and bad, it feels like it's going to be a long time. I do really like solo hiking. I'm perfectly happy camping alone, but it has been a great comfort having her with me. Especially, we really think that this last section was one of the harder sections of the trail, at least when we were looking. That's what we were anticipating. It's like, yeah, okay, there's going to be a lot of roads, a lot of stealth camping, things like that. So it really worked out that we were together, and it's a little more comforting trying to stealth camp, trying to do this stuff when you're with somebody else. At least here, it's not as straightforward as the big 3 trails, but I have a couple of more days on the Towpath where camping's easy. Don't have to worry about all those stressors of the more urban sections. And then I'll be off to Dolly Sods, which will be its own challenges. Apparently they have snow and mud and everything else up there. So I have days more of this. The only real struggle is going to be getting water. Talking to folks, I've pretty much resolved that I'm not even going to bother with the pumps anymore due to the metallic taste. I'll just filter out of the Potomac. Hopefully, with the lack of rains, the churning mud settles out a little. We were warned multiple times by multiple people that there are rail tracks running along this section, so it can be kind of loud, and I have been offered a number of earplugs. Fortunately, that's actually part of my standard kit. Feels kind of like the season's changed again. I'm actually gonna have to take my long guns off. So this is one of the water sources at the campsites. Can't remember if I showed it a few days ago. And they are on, I can get water out of them, but even after filtering, the taste of rust, iron, metal is so bad, I'm basically gonna filter out of the river. I have put up with swamp water, sulfur water, and 100 other things, but at a certain point, it just tastes unhealthy and your brain is screaming, yeah, you shouldn't be drinking that. And if I wanted to be dealing with that sort of mental voice, you know, chartreuse, the alcoholic drink, exists. A lot of people out here today. Those are bird watchers, apparently. Right when we started this, we saw a ton of bike traffic just outside of DC. Then it got really quiet for a while, and now it has gotten busy again. So many turtles. This is an interesting trail because obviously some parts are just decaying and others they have actually painstakingly restored. And then you go around the corner and barely an aqueduct anymore.
Level over it, yeah. But
okay. I haven't been flooded for like 50 miles, so oh. Okay, just knee deep, no biggie. Dry feet are overrated anyway. I decided to come into the campground and ask for water. Somebody at the outfitter said, oh yeah, we got water. You're welcome to it. Let it run for a second. But it's the same water the city uses, so hopefully it'll be a bit better than the CNO stuff. And welcome to Brunswick. I didn't feel like delaying anymore. Already got dinner in town breakfast in town this morning, so I have about 3-4 days of food on my back right now. I can make a straight through to Hancock unless I feel drawn to go into Harpers Ferry or something like that. So many turtles, but no taters. And back on the AT. I remember this section pretty well just because the surface of this trail was so much nicer than what I'd been on. So the AT basically cuts a left, crosses the train tracks, and the Ed Garvey shelter is up there in another 3.5 miles or so. I was kind of hoping I'd run into an AT hiker here, but That I remember. So I do remember coming through here on the AT with Jen. I just don't remember it being near this busy. We would have been coming through in the early afternoon though. Seems like it was wet, raining, because, you know, the AT. So, that is the beautiful Shenandoah River. Just like the John Denver song, it does make me kind of want to break out in song again. No through hikers. Oh well. So Harpers Ferry is mile 60 of the CNO. I have about 100 more to go. Just met a couple who were super excited to ask where I was going. Unfortunately, they did let me know that the site up ahead that I was aiming for has people in it. And it sounds like I would have to be in between other tents. So I'm gonna have to see. Unfortunately, the next campsite is 5 miles and it's, 6:20 and I've done 20 plus miles. I might just find some other place to set up. And yeah, already got a couple of people here. I might go find a spot in the bushes. So I decided I was going to filter instead of getting water, and I did. However, for my sins, I just slid down a mud bank, so oh well. Clean clothes are overrated. There's something workable here, and those guys are mostly filling up that camp. I was just chatting with one of those guys. Nice guy. He's going to DC. For them, it's another 10 miles till the next developed campsite. So here's my best compromise for camp for the night. Can still barely hear their music over there, but here's what it is. Home sweet home for the night.
Training, and it's like, high-fiving one another. We're here to train together.
Home sweet home for the night.